It only took 90 minutes for Blake to receive her first court defeat. After this court battle, Blake Lively may want to start reconsidering everything because, let me tell you, things are not looking good for her at all. In addition, both teams were asked if they would be willing to consider mediation, but they both said no. Interestingly, each side had a different explanation for why they couldn't even entertain the idea of mediation. There's a lot to discuss here, my love, so let's get right to the point.
Like anyone else who would be going through a situation where you're accused of something that you did not do and are suffering in a public way, I think it's distressful, to say the least.
As I mentioned, in just a 90-minute court hearing, Justin Baldwin has already won a significant victory, and to say that Blake's legal team is reeling would be an understatement. Although this isn't the final verdict, it is a significant step in determining how this entire fight will unfold, and based on what we've seen so far, the only reason Blake's lawyers will allow her to continue with this embarrassment is if they truly despise her. However, before we get into the latest developments, let's take a quick recap, as we've had so many updates on this case in one day that you'd hardly remember the specifics of the previous day. If anything, these two have filed and updated so many segments of their lawsuit that you're probably wondering which one I'm even referring to. First, it was Blake Lively hitting Justin Baldwin with a wild $250 million lawsuit accusing him of some serious misconduct, and then Justin wasn't about to go down without a fight. He wasn't just prepared to play. He threw himself into a larger $400 million countersuit charging Blake of extortion and defamation. After months of back and forth, it finally made it to court, setting up one of the most outrageous legal battles Hollywood has seen in a long time.
And certainly more, evidence will come to light and more information will come to light. And I think people will see it in a similar fashion.
From the very first moment the court session started, Justin's lawyer Brian Fredman came in ready to eat. Like, he wasn't just there to argue, he was there to destroy. And the way that Blake's legal team started scrambling was both entertaining and embarrassing. They were shook, you see, when Fredman said that he was going to sue Blake into oblivion. Well, based on how he handled court, he meant every word. Blake's lawyers were so rattled they tried to shut him up with a gag order, basically wanting the judge to ban him from making public statements about the case. And the judge looked at them and said, yeah, no. The judge straight up denied their request, and for good reason. Blake's own lawyers have been out here running their mouths in the media, so unlike in Blake's life, where there's no such word as fair. The judge ruled that there's no way they could talk, but Justin couldn't. This was win number one for Justin, and then it got worse for Blake. Her team just kept whining about how Fredman was giving interviews and making it hard for them to respond properly. Like, every time they tried to say something, Fredman was already out there dropping another bombshell, to the point that they were clearly struggling to keep up. And yet again, the judge wasn't buying it. He shut them down and told them Fredman had every right to speak about the case publicly. Both teams were asked to agree to stop going public, but no one could stop the other, and Fredman took that to mean he should address the press more, because that's exactly what he did when he came out of court that day. But it was what happened next that sent Blake's team into a full-blown panic mode. See, Justin wasn't just fighting this case in court, oh no, he took the battle to the internet. That's the time, just as Fredman had promised, that they launched a whole website dedicated to the case, where he uploaded everything: videos, legal documents, messages, basically all the receipts that back up his side of the story. And when Blake's team completely lost it when they found out, they tried to argue that this could unfairly sway public opinion, but Fredman was ready with facts, reminding them that Blake was the one who ran to the media first. She went straight to the New York Times and gave them the whole story, while on the other end, Justin only had 12 hours to respond before they dropped a damaging article about him. So why is it okay for Blake to use the press, but Justin can't? Clearly, Blake is so out of touch with the real world that she thought that the judge would grant her wild orders just because she's related to Ryan Reynolds. That argument hit hard, and yet the judge sided with Justin again. Another huge win for his team. But then Blake tried one more desperate move. She asked the judge to let her pick who would question her during her deposition. If you don't know, a deposition is basically a legal interview where everything you say is under oath, meaning if you lie, that can be used against you in court, and obviously Blake was trying to avoid being grilled by Fredman because she knew he wasn't going to let her slide with anything. So once again, Blake ran to the judge to demand for any other lawyer to depose her, but Fredman, to which the judge said absolutely not, he shut that down immediately. And we loved to see Blake's ego shrinking. She was informed that she had to answer questions from whoever the court assigns. No special treatment, no picking who she's comfortable with. And by the time the hearing ended, it was clear Justin won the entire day. Every single time Blake's team tried to fight back, they lost. Every attempt to control Friedman failed. Instead of stopping him, they only made him stronger. And y'all, the worst part was when the judge made it official that both of the lawsuits, Blake's $250 million case and Justin's $400 million countersuit, were to be merged into one case, meaning there won't be a long drawn-out process. For some reason, Blake's team was not ready for this to go down as one huge, explosive showdown. And believe me, this was only the beginning. If this first round is any indication, Blake is in for the fight of her life. At this point, she must ask herself the most important question of all: is this battle even worth it anymore? Because, let's face it, this is no longer just about bruised egos and public opinion. If she continues down this path and loses, she faces a devastating $400 million judgment, which is not just a hit but a complete wipeout of everything she and Ryan have built together. That means that even with all of their success, they would be in financial ruin. Ryan is reported to be worth $350 million, while Blake is at the bottom of the celebrity wealth spectrum with a net worth of $30 million. Now that I think about it, is it possible that Justin considered this before suing them for $400 million? As attorney Friedman would gladly pull when I told you all that Blake could be done, because she will in ways she never ever saw coming when she started this. Justin seems like a nice guy. Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, we also need to address his role in all of this because, let's face it, even the most supportive husband must be shaken at the thought of losing everything over this legal battle. If Blake loses, not only will their entire empire be on the chopping block, but also their career. This isn't just a small lawsuit that they can dismiss with a heartfelt apology during a PR rehab tour. It's a catastrophic financial blow that could force them to sell properties, liquidate assets, and bid farewell to their status as a Hollywood power couple. What's worse is that, even though Hollywood thrives on drama and rumors, financial catastrophes like this happen, and no matter how many box office hits you have, once the industry sees in you as a liability, it's game over. It's likely that Ryan has been experiencing insomnia lately.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been really harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that.
Additionally, let's not act as though public opinion isn't already changing, because it is, and both Blake and Justin are losing their hairlines over this. Justin Baldwin is winning not only in court but also in the media every time he wins a case, which undermines Blake's credibility at the moment. She now appears desperate, as if she is grasping at straws, while Justin keeps stacking receipts. Hollywood values authority, and sadly, the Reynolds no longer hold that authority. If they don't make the necessary corrections soon, they risk going into complete exile from the business. As for Blake, she is really done because, come to think of it, no studio will want to work with her after this. Brands will flee in the other way, and any reasonable producer or director will reconsider assigning her to any project. In fact, everyone will be too afraid to collaborate with her for fear of being sued for breathing too loudly. When a $400 million liability is involved, controversy isn't cute. It's not merely a bad look. It's a death sentence for your career. Not to mention the long-term repercussions, because even if she is able to reach a settlement, her reputation will already be on life support, and if she loses you all, it's a wrap. There is no turning back from a court decision that calls you a liar and an extort in Hollywood. She is not only risking money, but also her legacy and a conflict that she may not even win. While some celebrities may settle to make a scandal go away, Justin Baldwin is unwilling to back down. In fact, his lawyer recently stated unequivocally that Justin wants a complete ruling that he did not engage in any of the behavior that he has been accused of until then, no deals, no mediation, and no shortcuts. According to Fredman, Justin is currently in Hawaii with his family and is not on vacation as many may believe. He claims that no one who has been accused of serious allegations can ever truly relax, and despite the storm, Justin has allowed fire victims to stay in his home, demonstrating the kind of person he truly is. On the other hand, the industry has been avoiding him since the beginning of this story, and as a result, he has lost a lot of work. At this point, Justin doesn't even have an agent after being fired by William Morris Endeavor. Social media may be on his side, but Hollywood is not so much. Fredman also made it clear that Justin is not playing dirty, he's not taking shots at anyone, not exploiting legal loopholes, and not cracking jokes about his situation. We all know who is his team is focused on proving the truth, not tearing anyone down. Fredman even added that the only reason why he took this case was because he vetted Justin thoroughly. He went through the texts, emails, voice notes, everything, and in his words, the truth will come out. The situation is bleak, but Justin is standing firm. He wants justice, not just for himself, but to prove that he is a good person. So even though he's currently kind of blacklisted in Hollywood, they rejected the option of mediation when it was offered in court because they know that things will turn around. For that reason, Baldoni is taking his power back. Because people-pleasing left his body after dealing with Blake, he is controlling the narrative by simply providing facts and not letting the courts do the work for him. Every win is on his side, and it makes it harder for Blake to ever recover, and if she keeps fighting without any real leverage, she's going to become nothing more than a cautionary tale of what happens when you take on a battle you weren't ready for. And let's not forget, this is Hollywood. It loves a redemption arc, but only for those who play their cards right. If Blake persists when the deck is stacked against her, she will eventually run out of options. What comes next? Well, since the allegations have finally made it through the halls of justice, expect more mayhem in the courtroom. We're currently witnessing one of the biggest downfalls in recent Hollywood history in real time, and the way things are going, I'm sure it'll get even messier. Thank you for watching, loves, and please share your thoughts about all of this below. I'll see you on the next one. More Headland dragging Blake's name through the mud, and more L's for her legal team.